Could you solve one of the greatest heists in American history? A man hijacks a commercial airplane mid-flight, demands $200,000 in cash, and parachutes into the night, never to be seen again. No identity, no confirmed sighting, no body, just a legend. This is the mystery of D.B. Cooper, and more than 50 years later, it's still unsolved. Welcome to Digital Dread, where we take you deep into the darkest corners of unsolved crimes, chilling disappearances, and real stories that leave more questions than answers. If you're fascinated by true crime without the fluff, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a case. Let's get into it. On November 24th, 1971, Thanksgiving Eve, a man using the alias Dan Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 in Portland, Oregon. It was a routine 30-minute flight to Seattle. He paid in cash, wore a black suit with a skinny tie, had a mother-of-pearl tie pin, and carried a briefcase. Witnesses say he appeared calm, confident, and oddly well-mannered. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to a flight attendant who assumed it was just another guy hitting on her. She pocketed it, but he leaned closer and whispered, "Miss, you'd better read that. I have a bomb." That one sentence launched a federal manhunt that would last decades. The note stated his demands: $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready in Seattle to refuel the plane for a getaway. He showed the stewardess the contents of his briefcase wires and red sticks that resembled dynamite. The crew relayed his instructions to the cockpit, and the pilot informed air traffic control. Authorities acted quickly and quietly, fearing panic among passengers. Cooper allowed the plane to land safely in Seattle. He exchanged the 36 passengers for the ransom money and parachutes. Oddly, he kept the crew on board: 2 pilots, a flight engineer, and a flight attendant. He ordered the plane to take off again, directing them toward Mexico City at a low altitude and slow speed. These were flight specs consistent with a parachute jump. Somewhere over the rugged wilderness of southwestern Washington, in the middle of a rainstorm, Cooper opened the rear stairway of the Boeing 727 and parachuted into the dark. The plane landed safely, but Cooper was gone. And so was the money. Think about this. He jumped at night into rough terrain, in poor weather, wearing a suit and loafers. If that sounds insane to you, you're not alone. Many believe the conditions were too dangerous for anyone to survive. But here's the thing. No body was ever found. No parachute, no clothing, not a trace. Now here's where it gets more interesting. The FBI launched NORJAC, the Northwest Hijacking investigation. It became one of the longest and most exhaustive manhunts in history. Thousands of leads were pursued. Military planes had tracked the 727 during the flight, but none had seen Cooper's jump. The area he likely landed in was covered in thick forests and steep hills. 9 years later, in 1980, a boy vacationing with his family on the Columbia River found 3 packets of cash buried in the sand, 5,800, still wrapped in rubber bands and partially decayed. The serial numbers matched the ransom money. But how did it get there? Was it buried as a distraction? Did it wash downstream from the drop site? Or did Cooper plant it on purpose? The money discovery reignited public fascination. Over the decades, hundreds of suspects emerged. Let's go over a few of the most compelling ones. First, Richard Floyd McCoy. A Vietnam veteran and former pilot, McCoy hijacked a plane in 1972 using nearly identical methods, parachuting out with $500,000. He was caught and later killed in a shootout with the FBI. Many believe he was Cooper, though he denied it. The FBI eventually ruled him out, citing differences in age and appearance. Another major suspect, Robert Rackstraw, a former military paratrooper with a criminal record. He had the skills, the history, and even hinted in interviews that he could be Cooper. However, no hard evidence ever linked him to the case. He died in 2019, still denying involvement. Then there was Dwayne Webber. Before his death, he confessed to his wife that he was D.B. Cooper. He had a background in the military, served time in prison, and had a mysterious notebook filled with codes and references to the hijacking. Still, no solid proof ever surfaced. Even today, armchair detectives and online communities are obsessed with cracking the case. Entire documentaries and books have been made exploring theories and suspects. But the mystery remains. Here's a fun thought. What if D.B. Cooper was never a real name, but a persona used by an intelligence operative or black ops agent? Some speculate the hijacking may have been a cover for something deeper, a covert operation, or a personal vendetta carried out in spectacular fashion. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Cooper survived? Was he a genius, a lunatic, or both? And here's something to consider. Why hasn't a single bill from the ransom turned up in circulation? Not one. Did he stash the money forever, burn it, or die before he could use it? We may never know who D.B. Cooper really was. But the mystery continues to inspire curiosity, debate, and obsession. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case. They'd exhausted all leads and turned the evidence over to the public. But the legend of D.B. Cooper lives on. If you're enjoying this story, do us a favor, hit the like button and drop a comment with your theory. It really helps more people discover these cases. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join us every week here at Digital Dread for more faceless deep dives into the world's most baffling mysteries. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay subscribed.